I'm the co-host. He's the host.
All right, so we're getting loaded up to go live. Stephen, can you pull the YouTube feed and announce it in the other one that in Facebook so they can watch it there? Because we said it would be in Facebook.
He's the host. Okay, so let me see.
Please do that.
I'll go to YouTube.
Go live. Stephen, can you pull the YouTube feed? And okay, I think we're ready to go now. So it's live in YouTube. We're back here on Zoom, and that will help it be recorded and also be shared. Very good. All right, so let me start at the very beginning. Watch it there because we said it would be in Facebook. Stephen, you got to mute your mic. Okay, so let me jump in here and share a screen with you guys. I want to give you just a quick overview of the schedule. So I'm sharing the screen with you. This is going to be something that you'll probably want to know. I'll share with you a link in a little bit, and then I'll put another link in the chat. But gates open at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, right? So you can come at 8 a.m. You're welcome to start being involved with us. And Stephen, if you can monitor people coming in and admit them, I would appreciate that. And then look at this, from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., you can set up in your camping area. And then look at this, honor sign up. Anybody want to do an honor while you're at Camporee? Honor sign up will be in the gym. And you can do that from 8 a.m. to 12, 2 p.m. to 5:30 in the gym on Wednesday. At noon, vendors will open. That's in gym rooms 3 and 4. At 12:30 to 1:30, if you're there and you want to get lunch in the cafeteria, you got to get a meal ticket from the main office. 5:30 supper, again, a meal ticket. 6:45 is the first Union Camporee flag lowering. And then 7:30 on Wednesday is opening night and opening night ceremony. So we invite you to be there. Like, we would hope as many Florida clubs as possible could be there, set up, ready to go, seated at 7:30 for the program. And we think it's going to be a great program, and some special things are going to happen. Once the program's done, there's this meeting, 9:15 to 9:45, but that's for the conference director and for youth directors and for their key volunteers. But that's where they're going to get information to share with us as the club directors in the morning. See this time here, 10 p.m.? Can everybody go? That's when it's quiet time. Quiet time. So generators, if you have them, got to go off by 10 p.m. and you can crank them back up at 7 a.m. One thing I will say, just again, if you're not an expert camper, haven't been camping for a while, generators create exhaust fumes that have CO2. So you don't want a generator next to tents. You don't want a generator within 20 feet of tents, because we don't want kids to wake up dead inside of a tent because somebody put a generator and they got carbon monoxide poisoning. Some of you are bringing drums. If you do bring drums, please keep it restricted to 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. for drums, all right? Thursday, this is the second day of Camporee. Here's the schedule, 7 a.m. Good morning. Who likes to wake up at 7 a.m.? Say yeah. All right, this will be your event. This is just for you. Notice that cafeteria will have meal tickets. You get those through the main office. And then this, look at this, 7:30 a.m. is flag raising. And Florida Conference is doing the flag raising for Southern Union for everybody on Thursday morning at 7:30. Now, you might say, if I wanted to watch that, where would I go? I'm so glad you asked. You would go to the main stage area where there will be 3 flags set up just for the Camporee. So go to the main program area, and that's in the baseball field. If you don't know, if you know your Camp Kalakwa map, it's right on the other side of the cafeteria. And then look at this, 8:30. We want all of our Florida conference clubs to join us at 8:30 for a conference worship. This is Florida Conference sharing a worship with Florida Conference clubs and directors and staff and Pathfinders, and that's in our camping area. So you don't have to go far, just right there in our camping area, and that will happen on Thursday and Friday mornings. And this is something, if you have a staff member that's coming that has a kid ages 6 to 9, this is something that we've provided for staff kids. If they're teaching an honor, if they're presenting an activity and they need help with their kids ages 6 to 9, they can go to the cafeteria and they can have some programming for their staff kids ages 6 to 9. Vendors will open at 9 a.m. through 7 p.m. Now, this is where I want you to know, if you're planning your schedule, if you're a director that likes to be organized, you've got a 3-hour block in the morning, 3-hour block in the afternoon. So you've got 9 to 12 in the morning for activities and honors, lunch break 12 to 2, and then 2 to 5, another 3-hour block in the afternoon to plan things. Again, honors require a ticket. You'll get a printed program. There'll be a camp map in that program, and there also will be QR codes all around camp. If you get your phone open, go to your camera and scan the QR code. It will take you to a website, and you can find the map in there, the schedule in there, all the details in there, and I'll share that with you here in a moment. These are some of the activities that will be available. Messiah's Mansion, that's the life-size sanctuary. The Tower of Faith, that's all of the things at camp. The Leap of Faith, the climbing wall, the zip line. Those 3 things all need a waiver. They need a form with a parent signature. And that's something you got to print off and fill out in advance. So remember that for Tower of Faith. Pioneer Village, some of you may remember that from the previous Union Camporee. It's a pretty cool place to walk around and see different things that they used to do in the pioneer days of our history. River Ranch will be open. They'll have 1,000 kids in at a time and probably rotate them every 20 to 30 minutes and say everybody in goes out. And some of you might want to just take your kids to the water park just so that they get a bath somewhere during the Camporee. So think about that. The Pathfinder Heritage Museum will also be in the gym, and I'm sorry, not the gym, the cafeteria, and we invite you to go through that. That's a great experience as well. If you look at the teen zone, this will be in the spring chapel. This is where only teens will be allowed to go, and that will be because they'll have a special color wristband that's a teen only wristband. So you might want to keep that in mind for your teens in the spring chapel. In the King Chapel, they'll have special programs like Ben Roy, Rich Aguilera, different things. And our very own Calvin Brooks will be leading a team in a prayer tent for the Union. So we invite you to stop by the prayer tent, take a moment to pray. So that's the morning, 9 to 12. In the afternoon, 2 to 5. Those are the big chunks for honors and activities. Lunch happens. Children, the program for staff kids happens again. And then activities and honors open again. Same kind of things. Raptor honor, and then there's a drill exhibition and a drum competition. What's the difference? Drill exhibition is, I just want to show you what I can do when I drill. Drum competition is, I want to actually have a competition and compete against other drum corps, and you'll be scored and evaluated similar to what Florida clubs experience at Red Zone. There is a form for both of those. And I think that form was late in getting to the website. In fact, I don't know that the drill form ever made it to the website. So if your kids still want to be involved, they can fill that out and they can be a part of that drill exhibition on Thursday afternoon or the drum competition on Thursday afternoon. Okay. So we're still on Thursday. Stay with me. Supper, flag lowering, again, a different conference, the evening program, same kind of things. Friday morning, all very similar. The one difference is right here. How many of you like to run? If you're a runner or if your kids are runners, there's a 5K. The first 600 kids to sign up or adults will get a medal for participating. And there are different categories. So there's a 5K race, meet in front of the camp store at 7:30 on Friday. It will start at 8 o'clock. 5K, if you don't know, is 3.2 miles. So if you want to be involved, keep that in mind. And you can show your health and your fitness to everyone at the Camporee. All right. Again, 9 to 12, lunch, 2 to 5. The one thing different on Friday afternoon is right here. There's a rodeo. Camp is doing a rodeo on Friday afternoon. So you might tell your kids, hey, let's all go to the rodeo together. If they ask you to volunteer to ride a horse after you chug some root beer, don't do it. It might hurt you. I've done it and I didn't feel good. Like it almost made me throw up, but that's what they want you to do, right? They want to make you not feel good. So Friday night, this is that same kind of thing, generator, all that. Sabbath. Notice the different schedule for Sabbath. Flag raising still there at 8 a.m. There's a conference uniform inspection and club inspection. If you're a director on this call, let me see your face light up with joy. There's going to be an inspection. I can't believe it. I love an inspection. So just be ready for that. 8 a.m. uniform and club. I'll give you a hint. My favorite thing to do at a Camporee for an inspection is ask the director. I'll point at a child, a Pathfinder, and say, can you show me this child's medical form? If the director can find it within a minute, I feel very proud of that director. If the director has no clue of what I'm talking about, I want to cry, because that tells me they probably don't have a medical form for the kid. They don't know where it is. If I ask you, do you have a fire extinguisher? And you look at me like, a what? I will be very sad. Every club should have a fire extinguisher. Why? Because accidents happen. So please keep these things in mind. The inspection coming up, 8 a.m. Now, next new thing on Sabbath morning, 8:30 a.m. So you only have to be ready for that 1/2 hour. Now, 8:30 a.m. This is assembling in Class A. That's your full dress uniform. This is where Pathfinders look their sharpest, my opinion, when they're all dressed up in their uniform. And this is where you'll line up by conference, getting ready to be in the parade. Bless you, Sister Hunt. I can feel the sneeze from here. All right, here we go. Parade will start at 9 a.m. You'll go by the review stand. That's where Stephen and I will be standing in our Class A uniform and saluting you as you walk by. Nicely done, Stephen. Nicely done. That was even unprompted. Like, that was spontaneous. Very nice. Very nice. Doesn't Stephen look good in his red shirt? Just give him a little wink. Yeah, looking good, Stephen. All right. Now, notice after that, the program, morning program, the parade will end at the program area. So a director who is thinking ahead might say, I'm going to keep 2 people back from the parade. I'm going to fill up our wagon that we bring, because we like to carry water in our wagon instead of killing ourselves carrying water in our hands. We'll let the wheels do the work. We're going to fill it up with chairs, because we're going to use chairs for the program. And those 2 people will go straight to the program. They won't participate in the parade. They'll just go straight to the program Sabbath morning and set up chairs. So when our club gets there, they just go sit down and are relaxed. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. Notice, Master Guide investiture service will happen during the morning program on Sabbath. If you have Master Guides that have completed all of their steps and are cleared by Kathy Adams from Florida, they could participate in this Master Guide service. There's also a baptism. If you know of kids that are getting baptized, we're excited for that. We want to see that happen, and that will happen right at the end of the service, okay? Then we have this. We have lunch, then some free time, cafeteria meal tickets, and then we go back into 2 p.m., 5 p.m. So that schedule's the same for the afternoon, and that is there. Then notice this, when we come to the evening, 6:15, there's a flag retirement ceremony. This is led by our very own Florida Conference, Jose Diaz. So we're excited about that. He's going to join us there. And then we'll go into the evening program. Vendors will do it. And then we come to Sunday. That's it. Go to bed. And we are asking that clubs get up and get going. We're praying for you as you travel. We're asking you to be packed up by 10 a.m. so that you can be on your way. And then we're going to start our final cleanup. Notice this. Check with your conference to receive your Southern Union Camporee No Limits patch. No Limits patch. So let me share this with you. When you arrive, any questions on the schedule? Just the schedule in general. Okay, so let me go over a couple details. When you arrive, this is what I want you to be aware of. As you come to camp, there should be one person who is the person checking your club in. That may be the director, or it may be whoever the director designates to check them in. That one person will stop at the A-frame, go into the A-frame where our very own Leah will be waiting for you. You will go in and she will look at your roster of kids and adults. You will review your roster of kids and adults. She will confirm with you that all of the kids that are there on the list are present. All of the adults on the list are present. She will confirm with you that you have not made any changes, because we said after October 4, no more changes. She'll confirm that there are no more changes. She'll ask you to sign that everybody that I brought to the Camporee is background checked. All my adults are good. There are no changes to my roster. You'll sign off and say, I'm good. She'll scan you in. Then she will give you wristbands. Everybody needs to wear a wristband for the Camporee. She'll give you your pins. Everybody gets pins from the Southern Union. These are Southern Union pins. Everybody will get a bag. It's like a shoulder bag. That's a gift from the Southern Union. You will get programs. That's a gift from the Southern Union. You will also get a paper with a copy of the camp site inspection and on the other side, the uniform inspection. That's so you can be ready for the inspection on Sabbath morning. You will know exactly what's going to be looked at. No surprises. We're not trying to catch you with your shirt untucked. We're just trying to say, we want to help you look sharp and be sharp. After you've checked in, you will be told you may move on to your campsite. When you get to your campsite, that's where you can start setting up. These are the things that you know as Florida leaders. Please park your vehicle inside your campsite. It will be marked off. Actually drive into the campsite area, unload everything, and then remove that vehicle out to the parking area. These are the things that if you've been coming to Florida events, these are routine. That's what we ask you to do. Should you park in the roadway? No. Everybody shake your head left to right. No. Should you park in the roadway? No. What if it's just for 1 minute? No. What if I just want to stop and drop one thing off? No. Drive into the campsite. Anne-Marie, I love your enthusiasm. Keep it up. Let's go. So nobody should park in the road. And that's a safety thing, right? So get in your campsite, unload, move your vehicles. Everybody gets one vehicle that can stay in their campsite area. And that can be your chuck wagon. That can be your truck that has all your food. That can be your personal car. We just ask this. Don't turn your car on in the campsite. Once you've got kids camping, once again, cars have mufflers. Mufflers create exhaust. Exhaust is CO2, which is poisonous to human beings. It can kill them. Do not start your car. I will tell you this. I talked to Phil Yance from camp the other day. Do you know what he said? It was 54 degrees when he woke up. 54 degrees. Some of you Floridians might think, I'm going to get my winter camping honor if it's 54. It's got to be a little colder than that for winter camping, but you will want a jacket, right? You probably will want a jacket. So you might think, if I just start my car for 2 minutes, I'll warm up. I'll turn the heater on. This is a big no-no. Do not start. I just want to charge my phone for 5 minutes. Don't do it. Kids are sleeping. Those fumes go to the ground. We do not want to injure kids. That would be horrible. That would be absolutely horrible. So please don't do it. Please don't do it. And look around your club. Make sure that your people aren't doing it. If somebody else, it's their car that's parked there, just monitor that. All right. So you've checked in. You've done all that. You've moved to your campsite. If you know that you have to leave before Sunday morning at 7 a.m., you will be asked to camp in an auxiliary camping area. That means not with Florida Conference, on the other side of camp near a private exit that you can leave Saturday night after the program. You won't camp with your club. You won't camp with Florida, but if you need to leave Saturday night, that is the only way that you will be able to leave in your vehicle if your vehicle is inside the camping area. If your vehicle is outside the camping area in the parking area, you can pack up your stuff and haul it out and then drive away. That's fine. But you can't drive in and move the vehicle that's inside the camping area before 7 a.m. Wednesday night, any vehicles that brought gear in will need to be out into the parking area by 10 p.m. Wednesday night, because they will close the gates and those vehicles won't move again until Sunday morning at 7 a.m. So please just be savvy about that. Drive into the campsite, unload, drive it out, keep one vehicle, and we'll be fine. Florida Conference will have their own security under Merlin Brooks, and Merlin will be taking note of which vehicle stays. You'll get a special tag for your vehicle. That tag will be something you hang on the mirror, and that says to security, this is the one vehicle allowed to stay in the camping area. All other vehicles need to be moved out. Again, if you're a director that's done this before, you have some best practices. You know that you always need at least one vehicle outside, because if you forget something, need to run to the store for something, have an emergency, need to go do something, you will always have one vehicle and you won't be stranded because you're inside. So again, these are some of the things that directors learn over times. If you're a new director, that is a good tip for you. All right. So that's kind of the inside. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's all great, Pastor Pedro, but I'm not going to get there by 10 p.m. on Wednesday. What about me? I've got a plan for you too. Please don't arrive after 10 p.m. and expect to get into your camping area, okay? If you arrive and security has closed the gate, they'll have you wait outside the gate until 7 a.m. when the camp opens again for vehicles. So please make sure that you're planning ahead. There will be some again, best practice for a director, I send one team ahead, they set up tents. I arrive after 10, but all I got to do is walk kids in to get into tents that are already set up. That they'll let you do. They'll let you come in and do that. But we don't want cars and all that stuff coming in and waking people up who got there and are trying to sleep and want to have a great day the next day. So please watch for that. Outside of those things, you should have gotten a link in the email today. I'm sorry, in the newsletter today. And that link was to walk you through some important details for Southern Union Camporee. This I'm going to whiz through. I will put the link to this. Stephen, can you find that in the newsletter and put it in the chat room? I'm going to ask you to do that. Tell me if you can find it. If not, I'll try to do that later. But here's a real quick overview of that. This is the Southern Union Pathfinder Camporee. Guess what? It is for Pathfinders. This isn't open to whoever. This is people who are connected to clubs. Here's arrival and check-in information. Early arrivals, please don't arrive before 8. Some of you are trying to figure out how big will my camping area be. You're going to get 140 square feet of space for every Pathfinder registered and paid for under your church, under your club. So that's for you. A lot of clubs will take one vehicle to store food or other items. So that's something to keep in mind. Camp will have a lot of dumpsters all around. Please take those items with you to the dumpster. Everything should be in a bag that goes in the dumpster. Some generator hours, campfires. If you want to have a campfire, as long as there's not a fire ban, Florida just got hit with a hurricane, right? But believe it or not, the hurricane missed Camp Kalakwa. They didn't even get a drop of rain from the hurricane. And so they're saying we might be in a fire ban. So watch for the latest news. If you can have a fire, you have to have it up off the ground. Most of the time they use cement blocks to do that and in a metal barrel to contain the fire. And then you need to bring your own firewood. Like don't go ripping down trees or cutting down trees at camp. So just a reminder, no fireworks, no weapons, no drones of any kind are permitted. And then bathrooms. Please monitor your kids as they go to the bathrooms. That doesn't mean you get in the shower with them. I want to be clear about that. But go to the bath house with them and say, okay, please try to hurry because there's a long line. Take 3 to 5 minutes. Go through, make sure they're clean. Dishwashing can be done in your area of your campsite, and Florida's blessed with sandy soil that drains easily, so that shouldn't be a problem. But don't dump food and dirty water on the floor, because food at a campsite attracts animals. We don't want animals other than our Pathfinders and our Pathfinder staff. We don't want to attract wild animals, okay?
The link is in the chat right now.
Excellent, thank you. So that's the link to this document here. Encourage your kids to help keep the restroom clean. There is a schedule for cleaning for the restrooms. Again, thank you, Stephen, for putting this link in there. You can get this document out of the chat. Just go to the chat room, click on the link, and you can open it and look at it all. Here's the number to call if you see an issue in the restroom, if something's messed up or if there's a toilet that's overflowed, anything like that. And then this is the cleaning schedule. We talked a little bit about parking, wild animals. Camp is a no pet area, so please don't bring pets. This isn't a place where I couldn't do anything with my pet, so I had to bring it. You will be asked to take your pet to a kennel, and you're going to have to go off site and find one. Want to remind everyone, Camporee is a meatless event, so please plan on cooking meatless meals in your club area. If you did get a cafeteria meal ticket, these are the times, and you know from camp in the past, or maybe you don't, but if you're new to it, their meals are only served during these times. And if you have a ticket for a specific time, that's the only time that meal ticket is good for. So you can't say, man, I missed supper last night. Can I get supper the next night? Not with the same meal ticket. Some items to bring, just expect different weather, right? Bring a poncho, hat, sunblock, insect repellent, those kinds of things. Every conference will have a two-way radio, two-way radios that are connected to medical for the union, to the camp office for the union, and will be at our headquarters for Florida. So if you can get someone to the Florida headquarters, they can communicate with the camp office and with Camporee Union Medical. So just keep that in mind. There is a siren system for two different things. A missing camper, that is a constant steady siren. So that is, if you hear that, someone's missing. The action is to go to the baseball diamond field and assemble, and we'll organize you there to see if we can't find the missing camper. The other one is more like an alarm clock, and that means there is a weather emergency. Get into the closest building and take cover immediately. So those are two warning signals that if you hear, that's the action to take. This next one, please do not call 911 without first contacting camp. Now, someone might say, that's not, no, I'm calling 911 first. Well, if you do, 911 will keep you on the phone. And then you can't call camp. And then you can't let camp know that you need 911, so camp can't send the ranger or somebody to help you get the help that you need. Can you imagine an ambulance driving into Camp Kalakwa, having you on the phone somewhere in this sea of 5,000 people and trying to find you? It's going to be very difficult. So this isn't, we don't want you to be safe. It's, we actually want to get you help as fast as possible. So call the camp office. It's right here. You should put that in your phone if you haven't already, and say, this is the camp emergency number. Once the Camporee opens on Wednesday, the camp office and this number will be staffed 24/7 throughout the whole event, from Wednesday, 8 a.m. all the way through Sunday. So that's the number you need if there is an emergency. Now, let me define emergency. This is a life-threatening situation. This isn't, I saw a snake, I need someone to come take it away. This isn't, I just saw my Pathfinder fall and he's got a cut and I don't know what to do. Okay, a life-threatening situation would be a Pathfinder climbed a tree against my counsel, they've fallen, they're unconscious, I need an ambulance. That's a life-threatening situation. So I just want to be clear on that. Southern Union will have security that will be there 24 hours a day, starting on Wednesday. They will also have a police officer at the front in case there is an emergency that requires his attendance. There is a missing child protocol. I invite you to look over that. In today's technology, I encourage every director to have a screenshot of a kid, a face shot. So if something does happen, you can share that with the Florida Conference security, with the Union security, and we can all get a look at who we're looking for instead of just say, his name's Billy and he's about this tall and he's got blonde hair, like about 3,000 other kids at camp, right? So we want to help you know how to do that. So those are some details there. Children should not be without an adult. They should be supervised. They should have adults accompanying them. Remember this, bikes, rollerblades, skateboards, those are no-nos at camp. Anything with wheels should stay at home. This includes golf carts. If you have a golf cart from your camp or from your club or from your personal inventory or ATV, that should not come. It's not insured at the levels that it needs to be insured at for these events, so we're asking you to not bring any of that stuff. For cellular phones, you as a director decide whether or not you let kids use a cellular phone. That's your choice. We know that we will offer some things by cellular phone, this QR code. There'll be some other things that they can get involved in. If you do have your phone, we ask you when you go into a meeting to turn it off or keep it on vibrate, just out of respect for everybody else that's there. Trading pins, feel free to bring pins to trade. Parades on Sabbath, we talked about lowering and raising of the flags. In the services and in the meetings, you are the director of your club. I respectfully ask you to keep your kids seated until the program's over. You getting back to your campsite 5 minutes early will not change your life that much. Please do not get up and leave early. Please do not escape from the program area. If there's an emergency, we understand, but please keep your kids there, keep them focused. And most of the time, kids will follow our lead, right? If we're respectful, if we're listening, we can encourage them to do the same. If we're talking to adults, if we're involved in doing other things, they'll think, oh, it's not that important for me to goof around or talk. I can do that as well. For medical first aid, I want to review this with you because every club should have their own first aid kit, right? So if a kid gets a scratch on his knee, who should have the Band-Aid? You. You should have the Band-Aid. If they need it cleaned with Neosporin, who should have Neosporin? Your club first aid kit should have Neosporin. But if there's something that you don't have or that you need something bigger than what you feel comfortable doing, Florida Conference will also have medical in our Florida Conference camping area. It will be at the Florida Conference headquarters. Our Florida Conference headquarters will be right at the entrance to the Florida camping area. When you drive into the camping area, you will see our entrance. It will have a big sign, be a lot of vegetation stuff there. And then you'll see a tent behind that. That's where our headquarters will be. So that's where our headquarters will have our first aid. That's where our security will have as their home base. And that's where on Friday and Sabbath, that's where we'll vend stuff and be there to answer any questions. Wednesday and Thursday, Leah will be in the A-frame. Friday and Sabbath, she'll be out at the headquarters. So just keep those things in mind. There is a list of suggested items if you don't know what to have in your first aid kit, and that list is coming up. Want to just remind you that Florida Conference morning schedule, 7 a.m. club director and staff meeting. Everyone should send at least one representative from their club to get the details for the day. And then 8:30 to 8:45 is director staff Pathfinder morning devotional. And that's where we want you and your Pathfinders to attend. We talked about the inspections. There's your first aid suggestions. If you want to invite anybody over for meals, feel free to do that. We've got OAVs that are there that aren't camping with clubs. Feel free to invite them. Leaving the Camporee, just remember on Sunday, once your area is clean, check in with your area administrator or your conference volunteer, and they can help you get your patches once they look at your campsite and say, everything looks good, you've picked up, and let's leave our camp areas cleaner than when we got there. All right, those are some more details to go over regarding Camporee. Those are the two big documents I wanted to look at. The third and final smaller document that I wanted to look at, and then I'm going to open it for questions. I want to share one more thing with you. So give me just a second here. There is a parade, and I wanted to show you the parade details. Okay, this is it. This is the parade details. So I just want you to see this. Hey, Vicky, glad you made it. So Florida Conference will be doing a parade. The parade will officially begin with a cannon shot. So that's what you hear. The parade will start at one end of the camping area. And as that conference moves by down the main road, the next conference behind them will join at the back of the parade. They'll keep moving. The third conference will join at the back of that parade, and everybody's marching around till we get down to the main route. Kentucky, Tennessee will start the parade. And then this is the order. Florida will jump in line. And then the sheet that I wanted you to see is this. Every conference should be led by their color guard. So that's us taking care of that. But then you're invited for each club to take a part with your color guard, sharing your local club Pathfinder flag if you have one, or your conference color guard behind the color guard. So those are some things if you want to be involved. If you want to have a banner and take your banner in the parade, that would help us know this is this club now coming. We encourage you to have that banner if you already have one made. Each conference will have a drum corps behind them. So when we see a drum corps and there's no conference coming behind them, that's where we know it's time for us to jump in and do the next one. So that's the reviewing procedures. Our conference parade director for Florida Conference will talk to you on one of our morning meetings at 7 a.m. on Thursday and Friday to help you be ready for the parade. But I at least wanted you to start processing that. Am I bringing my banner? Do I have my club name? Do I want to bring any special flags for the parade? Do I want to have a drum corps or somebody participating in the parade? Those are the kinds of things I wanted to get you thinking about. All right.
All right, we have some questions in the chat.
Read them to us, Stephen.
All right, the first one, will there be a note from the conference excusing children from school? This came from Stacy.
Okay, thank you for that question. Let me take you to this. So give me 1 second here. Yes, there will be, and that already exists is what I want to share with you. So I'm going to take you now to the website that will be used. Stephen, if you can copy that website. Oh, no, you can't because it's a shared screen. I'll do it. Control C, and I'll dump that into the chat here in a moment. But this is the website for the Camporee. So if you go here to general information, this website's live now. There are some updates that we're still doing. But if you go under general information, you'll find most of the stuff that you need in terms of baptism form, camp store policies. The camp store wants you to come in the store with adults and they'll limit the number of people that are coming into the store. The drum corps, the rules, and the sign up is there. You asked about the school excuse letter. Here's the school excuse letter, already exists on the website, so you can get that there. Let me go back up here. The exhibition for drill and the form to register, first aid kit recommendations. If you wanted to get food, there was a chance to pre-order food from the camp store. I think that deadline is passed. You can still contact them. Then there's guideline and expectations for honors and activities. Honors, registration procedures, King Chapel schedule. So if you want to know what's happening in the King's Chapel, you can. Master Guide investiture, the race. If you want to sign up for this, they are doing a Pinewood Derby. If your kids want to do this, again, all this lives under the No Limits Camporee22.com. And this is under the general information tab. Also, there's some security information, the Staff Kids program. If you want to start singing the theme song and sharing it with your kids, the song on YouTube is here. You can pull that down. The Tower of Faith, if your kids want to participate in that, that's all included in their ticket. The River Ranch is included. Tower of Faith is included. Every honor, every activity, everything that they do is included in their ticket. And then if you were a vendor, that was your vendor registration form. This again, all lives on the No Limits Camporee22.com website. And here you'll have a schedule that I just went over with you, the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sabbath schedule. Also, you can come in here and find out what are the honors. There's a breakdown again of Thursday morning, afternoon. Here's the breaking news. So if you want to see what's the latest going on with the honors. So this is the website that we're going to ask you to refer to. This is the website that the QR code will lead you to. When you get to camp and see the code and scan it, it will take you to this website. This is the one website that will be open everywhere that you can get camp Wi-Fi, no password needed. It will just take you to this website. So that's the answer for that one. And I'm going to go ahead and post in the chat now the website that I just shared with you.
Okay, so a couple of people were saying that they could not see your shared screen. I'm not sure if they eventually saw it. But you see that there are a couple of more questions. One being, will they get a copy of the schedule? But I think you just answered that with the site.
There will be a printed program that every director that signs in will get several copies of a printed program. And you now have the website link, so you can get as many copies as you want to make, or you just screenshot it on your phone and then you have it.
Right. And then now another question, can someone who is not staying at camp drop off our equipment before we arrive?
Yes, and the person that does that, they'll just declare to the security when they arrive. Security will give them, will ask their license plate number. They'll get some information from them. They'll get their cell number, and they'll ask that when they exit that they check out with security to be able to acknowledge we went in, we dropped off, now we're coming out and we're exiting. So yes, you may. Now, once you get past Wednesday night, the only way to get back into the Camporee, if you haven't been there yet, is to show your wristband, and everybody in your vehicle has to show their wristband, and you'll be allowed to come back in.
All right. Before I mention another question, I believe I heard you said that the headquarters was going to be a big white tent.
The headquarters will have our our Florida conference entrance, the medical tent, a big white tent where we'll do our 7 a.m. club directors meeting, and the sprinter where we'll have our headquarters in terms of the office side.
Gotcha. So how can we order meal tickets? Was another question.
The same number that was there for emergencies is the same number to call from camp. It's the 386. I forget that number, but it's on the schedule. So if you go back to the schedule, the link is there. Call there and order meal tickets if you want to. I will tell you meals are $13 each, and that's breakfast, lunch, or supper per person, and it is a buffet meal like camp always has done for us.
Right.
And that is open to clubs if they choose to.
Next question. How many honors can they take from 2 to 5?
One. At this point, until we get all of the clubs on site, it will be 1 honor per Pathfinder.
Next question. Is the honor registration on a per day basis, or can you sign up for all days on Wednesday?
So Wednesday, if you want to choose an honor that's not on Thursday, maybe Friday or Sabbath, they will let you choose some of those limited honors because some of those aren't taught earlier in the week. So yes, you can choose from a variety of what the whole schedule is.
And one person is asking also, what honors are there? I think you answered that with the website.
Yep.
Here's a question. Another question. How will the rest of my staff and Pathfinders enter the camp if they arrive later than the director, when the director is already in the camp?
Okay, so every vehicle that comes to camp will be stopped by security. They will be asked, what conference are you with? What club are you with? Are you the person signing in your club? If you are not the person signing in your club, they'll point you in the direction of which camping area you're going to. So if you're Florida, they'll tell you where Florida camping is. They'll send you on your way. They will be able to come in and set up even if the director hasn't arrived yet. So the director, once they arrive, they will need to go to the A-frame, and in the A-frame, that's where they'll check everything. They'll confirm everything. And so for this event, the union has decided that the director will be the quality control checkpoint, and we're counting on you to be honest from the union side to make sure that you're only bringing the people in, that you're only camping people that are registered, that you're only doing those things. So that's the plan at this point.
There's a hand up. Let's go to that hand. Calvin Brooks has his hand up.
Thank you.
Yes. Will they be allowed to march in the parade with the American flags?
Is Jose on here? Because I thought that the American flag usually goes at the front and then not with every club. I don't think you repeat the American flag for every club. I think that's one for the conference.
Right. The reason why I asked that in the list come up of flags, the American flag was the first one in there. That's why I asked the question.
And I had a feeling that you asked the question knowing the answer. So thank you, Brother Brooks, for giving me a chance to share the correct answer that you had as the correct answer.
Yes, sir. With those who didn't know.
Yes, thank you. All right. What else do we got? Anybody else have a question? Feel free to raise your hand or to unmute yourself.
I think somebody answered the question also. So the union site stated honor tickets will be given out on Wednesday and until 10 a.m. Thursday. Can we still get honor tickets if we arrive after 10 a.m. on Thursday?
Yes. So in the schedule, I didn't hit that detail, but these are the times. You can get them Wednesday. You can get them Thursday morning, 8 to 10. You can get them Thursday afternoon. I think from like 2 to 4 or 2 to 3. You can get them again Friday morning. You can get them again Friday afternoon. So the schedule will have those times updated in it. And yes, if you do not arrive on Wednesday, you still have opportunities on Thursday and Friday to get tickets. The one thing that you don't have the opportunity to do is if you don't arrive until Friday night after 6 or 7, then you don't have a chance to go get honor tickets because they're not open Friday night or Sabbath morning for honor tickets. So honor tickets will be available the last chance after Wednesday all day, Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday afternoon. After that, no more.
And I believe all of that information is on that website. If they could go
Under
to
the schedule.
Okay, under the schedule. Did you say adults must be with the Pathfinders at all times?
Did I say that? Is this another question that you already know the answer to?
No, I didn't ask that question.
So
this is Laverne. I'm putting her out. Laverne.
The answer is yes. I am saying that Pathfinders should always be coming. Now, someone might say, well, I've got teen Pathfinders. Can't they take the kids somewhere? A teen Pathfinder is not an adult. Let me say that again. A teen Pathfinder is not an adult. We are asking that your Pathfinders would always be accompanied by an adult. That means someone 18 or older.
18 or older.
And
okay.
Now that you say that, just remember, if you have, for all of your drivers who are driving kids to camp, 18-year-olds can't drive Pathfinders to camp. 21 and older may drive kids to camp, and the vehicle must have the proper insurance, which is an elevated insurance than most of the time the average person has. And they should carry the medical forms. The driver should have access to the medical forms for everyone in that vehicle as a safety measure in case something happens to those kids in that car. Some directors will just create 3 binders if they have 3 drivers, and every binder has every kid's medical information in it. So if the kids switch cars, they don't have to worry about, is the medical form there? Is it there? They just have a binder with all their medical stuff. And that's another way that I've seen clubs do that. I see Jesus has his hand up from Tampa.
Yes.
Hey, Pastor, how you doing?
I'm great, thank you. I love the beard.
Thank you. Just a quick question, just to clarify. On the vehicles that we'll be staying at camp, we're going to have a truck wagon, food truck type deal. But we're also going to have a trailer with all of our equipment, and some of the food is going to be in there because not everything can be inside of the truck wagon. Can that supply or equipment trailer stay at the camp also? Will it have to get pulled out?
So if it's vital to your camping successfully and comfortably, I'll say it's okay. I would suggest that second trailer not be connected to a vehicle. And here's the reason why. You only have so much square feet per person. And that's why we say 1 vehicle.
Right.
So if you have a big tent that you're using for your food, or you have a big trailer that you're using to cook food, you're limiting your camping space. So just be aware that there is not extra space given for vehicles. It's all included in the process. So if one of those vehicles trailers is attached to a vehicle for ease of movement and the other one's disconnected, then I would say if that's what you need to do to camp comfortably, yes, we'll allow that. But knowing that you're going to have limited space because of it.
Here's another question.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Here's another question. Yeah, if someone checked in on Wednesday and left the camp or leaves the camp, can they get back in on Friday night with the wristband?
Let me pick on Jose Torres to answer that question. Jose, what would you say? What's the answer?
I would say yes if they have a wristband, but they won't be able to use the vehicle inside the camp.
You win a lollipop at the Camporee. I love it. That's correct. So once you're in, once you're checked in, once you have your wristband, you're free to come and go, but your vehicle's not free to come and go. That was 100% correct. Good question, good answer. Thank you, Jose.
We'll give you a fruit. The lollipop is too much sugar for you. We don't want you to go crazy on it.
It's strawberry lollipop.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Okay. What else we got? Anybody, anything else?
I think you've answered all the questions. I guess they're going to look to the website.
Yeah, and the website link is there. Again, whatever we can do to help you, we're here to do it. I want to thank you for all of your efforts. It is not outside of our attention that it takes effort to register and participate in an event. So we thank you for doing that. We know that many of you have spent a lot of time preparing for this, a lot of time checking with parents, a lot of time making sure things are ready. And for those efforts, Stephen and I and our whole team here in the union say thank you. One of our goals is to make sure that our Pathfinders are safe at this event, and we want to do all we can to ensure their safety. I will make this statement. Just because adults pass the background check doesn't mean that there's not some funny stuff that could still happen. So please make sure that you practice the best practice, which is never be alone with a Pathfinder. Always have 2 adults with any child. If you have to stay up late at the campfire and there's a Pathfinder that wants to stay with you and everybody else is tired and wants to go to bed, guess what? You get sleepy real quick and tell the Pathfinder it's time to go to bed. Go to your tent, I'll go to mine. Or invite a staff member to stay awake with you. If you're alone with a kid, it only can cause some challenges and potentially raise some flags. So please don't do it. Find another adult to be with you. Let's do all we can to keep kids safe. Keep your eyes open. Keep watching for things. In the bathrooms, a lot of times bullying can happen. That's why we ask for adults to go into the bathrooms and monitor. Like the stuff we say isn't just because we want to complicate your life. It's because we want to keep kids safe. That's something that we're counting on you to help us with. So thank you in advance for that. I see Sister Brooks has a hand in the air.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone.
You have a special announcement for us.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering, should you go to Marcia? she probably has a question first and then save the announcement for after the question. I don't know.
I'm
As
fine.
you wish, Stephen.
Yeah, let's go to Marcia Smith first.
Yes, thank you. My question is, when we get that, download that map of the campsite, is it gonna have, of the campgrounds, is it gonna have the location of our campsites on it, or just the conference area?
It won't have your campsites, it will just have the area. But what we will do, we have a team arriving on Sunday and Monday to set up the campsite areas. And our goal is to have a map that will show Florida camping area with the streets and where the clubs are to help you find your club. That's always been our goal, and we're going to make that goal again. So our team's going to work hard to have that paper so that our volunteer team, all of our OAVs in the field, they'll be able to say, here's where your club is, and show you on the map for Florida Conference, because it's always a challenge to find your campsite, and we're going to do our best to help make that easy for you. Does that sound good?
Okay.
All right.
So we do have another question in the chat, but let's go to the announcement first.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
shirts. If you did buy Camporee shirts, that was not included in your Camporee ticket. Those shirts will be available in gym room 3 and 4. Gym rooms 3 and 4. Some of you missed the deadline to order a Camporee t-shirt. There may be some available. There is a limited stock also where the vendors are, gym room 3 and 4. The Southern Union is providing, included with your ticket, a Southern Union pin, Southern Union bag. Those will be given to you at check-in if you're the director, to give to your kids and staff. And there's also a Southern Union patch that won't be given to you until Sunday morning when you finish packing up. In addition to that, there is a Florida Conference pin, an official pin, and then there's a special edition pin. Those two pins were also pre-sold and pre-ordered. Those will be picked up at the A-frame when you check in, either Wednesday, Thursday. If you don't arrive and check in till Friday, you will get your Florida pins at the headquarters, which is over within the Florida Conference camping area.
What?
Yes, there are some pins still available, but not very many for Florida.
Good. We're ready for the announcement.
Thank you. Mrs. Brooks. Oh, we see her face.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As Pastor Pedro announced earlier on, I will be heading up security for the Florida Conference. And with me, I have 3 other of your leaders, and we 4 will be serving you. The thing is, though, the 4 of us alone cannot secure all of Florida. I think it's going to be the second largest conference there, if not the largest conference. It's a lot. And in addition to that, we will be monitoring the bathroom, that the shower room that is closest to Florida that we will be using. A letter was sent out today from your AAs, from your area administrators. Hope you got it, but just in case, we're asking you, the 4 of us, to help us by giving us at least 2 persons from your club. We need to monitor the female bathroom, or female showers as it is, and we need to monitor the male showers. Then we need people to help us to secure Florida, to go around the area, to answer questions, to be a liaison between the Southern Union security and or whatever else. As you heard mentioned, that if you need something to be sent out by radio, you can come to security, we will help you. So we're going to need your help. What we will be doing, if you will not get the chance to send us at least 2 persons' name prior to the Camporee, we will be at the gate, at the entrance of Florida, and we will be reminding you to please let us have those 2. It's going to be very important. Our OAVs will be helping us, but they have so much more to do. We can't, oh my goodness, we're there to serve and we will be serving, but we do need your help. Okay.
Thank you, Merlin. Do you want to put how to contact you or how to volunteer in the chat? Email, cell phone? How do they let you know that they can help?
I can do that right now.
Thank you.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, so if you are able to help and can provide 2 persons, yes, 2 people. They're not on for the entire time. That's why we're asking for 2 people. There'll just be a 2 to 4 hour block that Merlin needs your help. And that's it for the Camporee. If you could contribute those 2 to 4 hours, that would be great. All right. If there are no other questions, I will release you to have fun the rest of the evening doing whatever else is still in front of you. I will stay on a little bit for any other questions or things that might come up. Anything that anybody wants to ask before we close?
Yeah, Pastor Pedro, also at the prayer tent, we can always do with help at the prayer tent. And the prayer tent runs from 9 to 5. We have shifts every 2 hours. We have a different shift.
Excellent. Thank you. So prayer tent will be out. If you come out of the main door of the gym, you'll go to the right, and that will be where the prayer tent is. And we invite you to stop by there and pray, or send your Pathfinders there to pray. And if you want to volunteer, Calvin says you can pray there as well. I see a question in the chat. If we have male Pathfinders going, do we need a male chaperone? Let's go to, who's going to answer this question? Sister Hunt, I saw you. What's the answer to that question? Can you answer that? If I have male Pathfinders, do I have to have a male chaperone? I think you're on mute.
Definitely. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, ideally you have male Pathfinder with a male adult chaperone. Now, obviously, if you can't do it, then you'd have 2 staff, ideally, so that you're not alone as the opposite gender of the Pathfinders. Good job, Sister Hunt. That's 2 lollipops for you. Man, getting spoiled. All right, Sister Brooks, is your hand up from before, or do you have another comment?
No, I'm good. One thing, we will be monitoring the bathrooms from, I believe, from 7 to 10. I think that's the time, but it won't be all night. And Florida will not be doing security all night either. It will be from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay? Not hard. Thank you.
All right. Very good. Okay. One last chance to ask a question before I pray. Anybody want to unmute and ask a question that you've been waiting to ask?
I have a question.
Yes.
I know this is not related to this, but from the last redson that we had, my church gained the 2nd place of the 10th competition, and I still don't have the pins for the 2nd place. So do you have any idea what happened to it?
That is a great question. I will find out the answer and we'll announce it on Thursday morning at the Camporee, but I don't have the answer for you tonight.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for letting me know that you've not received it. And Vanessa, I saw you make a hand motion as well. You have not received something for tent? Okay, sorry for that, guys. Tent from Red Zone, that's the medal. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for letting me know. And sorry you haven't received that. I will find out and we'll announce it. Or if you see me at Camporee, ask me again, okay? All right. Let me pray for us, guys. Our God and our Father, we thank you for this night. We thank you for this team of leaders that we get to share this part of the evening with. We thank you for all the help that you've given to them, all the strength, all the energy, all the ability to do all that they have in Pathfinder ministry, in their homes as parents and as spouses, for those that are married and have kids, and also, Father, for the roles that they play in club ministries and the influence that they have with kids. We pray that this Camporee would be a chance for them to grow closer to their Pathfinders, to be able to find out more about them, to be able to share their life, to be able to have moments where they get to share how you've worked in their lives, Jesus. and how you've helped them to overcome limitations, and how you've helped them to live a life of dependence and obedience to you, and how it's changed their lives. So, Father, I pray that you'll continue to bless each of these leaders, bless them in the conversations they have with their staff, bless them in the conversations they have with kids. I pray for safety as all these clubs travel. I pray that you'll protect them. I pray that you'll also help them to make memories on the way to camp. And Father, I pray for the other 7 conferences that will join us. We pray that at this Union Camporee, that we will be able to celebrate how good you are, be able to learn more about how you want to be involved in our lives, and that each of us will take a step closer towards you to let you be Lord and ruler in our lives. So thank you for all that they've done. Thank you for all that we still have before us. And we look forward to how you'll bless us. We thank you for all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen. All right. Good night to everyone. If you want to stay on, you can. I will stay on for another few minutes to see if there are any other people who want to ask questions, but didn't want everyone to hear them. And then if you need to go, you're free to go. Thank you again for being here. This will be posted to our Facebook page for Pathfinders. If you want to see it there, it's also on our YouTube page for Pathfinders and Adventures. So if you want to share it with somebody, you can share it from those venues. We'll put it on Facebook and you can click it, or you can rewatch it if you want to. If you missed something, or if you came late, you can go back and watch the first half, but that will be available to you. All right. Good night, Florida friends. Stay Pathfinder strong.
Pastor.
Yes.
You want to stop the